Muddlarks Drama Group proudly presents Suddenly Autumn, a Preston mystery in 7 episodes. Episode 3. In last week's episode, Inspector Lestrange had revealed the purpose of his visit.
Mrs. Hames, I am arresting you for a crime of treason against the state. You're not obliged to say anything, but what you do say will be taken down in writing and may be used against you. Do you understand?
Yes.
What? This can't be happening!
Preston, it's all right. Calm down. Everything will be fine, Jean. The inspector has explained it all to me and I understand what has to happen now.
How can you say everything's all right, Shirley? What evidence do you have to prove the accusation, Inspector?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that, Miss Maple.
This is ridiculous.
Please, Miss Maple. I'm sure you are well aware of the procedure I have to follow in these circumstances. An accusation has been made against Mrs. Hames.
By whom?
You know I cannot reveal that information. As I have said, an accusation has been made and I have to take Mrs. Hames to Scotland Yard for interview.
And how long will that take? When will Shirley be coming home?
I'm afraid that Mrs. Hames will have to remain in custody for the duration of the investigation.
But please, Jean, it'll be all right. I'm sure it's just been a mistake, but I have to go with the inspector. Will you take care of Preston for me, please?
Of course, but...
There is some money in my handbag.
Don't worry about that, I can manage.
I'm sure that you understand that we'll have to carry out a search of your house, Mrs. Hames.
Really, this is too ridiculous for words. What are you expecting to find? An international spy ring operating from Shirley's coal cellar? You got a warrant?
Yes, but I'm hoping that won't be necessary.
It's all right, Jean. Preston, I'll be fine. Jean will look after you. I'll be back soon. Don't worry.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Danke.
Who was that?
Herr Schmidt has been watching the house of Mrs. Ames's friend, Miss Maple, and he reports that Mrs. Ames has been taken away in a police car. He followed them to Scotland Yard and has managed to find out that Mrs. Ames has been arrested and charged with treason against the state. This is sure good. The first part of my plan to discredit her in the eyes of the British police has succeeded. Scotland Yard will soon search her home and they will find the letter and the documents. I hope you did not make it too easy for the police to find them.
Of course. That is why you hired me, is it not? I am the best. I am invincible.
Yes, you have been well paid for your abilities.
But the documents are forgeries. Surely it would have been better if the real documents were found at the home of Mrs. Haines.
The documents will be returned to the Russian embassy, where they will no doubt be thoroughly examined, and providing you have done what was required, they will confirm that the documents are forgeries. In order to avoid a diplomatic incident, Scotland Yard will suggest that Mrs. Hames goes to meet her head captain as arranged, in the hope that the real documents can be recovered.
And that's when?
Then, finally, I will have my revenge!